Aquarius, you made the decision. That one moment when your soul whispered, "Enough," heaven listened. It wasn't just a thought. It was a spiritual signal sent straight into the higher realms. Pause, lower tone. When you finally released what wasn't aligned, a celestial chain reaction began. And now, for the next 3 days, the universe itself is responding to your yes. These are not random days. These are the days of divine confirmation. You'll feel it in your body first. The chills, the sudden calm, the sense that something invisible has started to move in your favor. Because it has. Every delay, every disappointment, every rejection you thought broke you was really heaven repositioning you. Cut to visual, stars aligning over water. The universe is rearranging everything that once delayed you, turning past pain into future proof. People who doubted you will start sensing your energy shift. Doors that refused to open before will now feel magnetically drawn to your vibration. The entire timeline is adjusting around your faith. Whisper tone, and that's why these next 72 hours are sacred. Heaven has been silent, but silence was never denial. It was synchronization pause, beat of silence. You thought nothing was happening, but everything was. The angels were realigning your destiny while you were learning how to stand alone. The universe was removing noise, clearing your path, preparing your reward. Rising tone, cinematic emphasis, and now, heaven makes its move. Everything that once stood still begins to stir. You'll start seeing signs, repeating numbers, sudden coincidences, unexpected messages, all confirming the shift has begun. Soft yet powerful transition. You didn't imagine the calling. You weren't crazy for holding on. That inner voice telling you something big is coming. That was prophecy, not paranoia. Retention line, spoken with conviction. But here's the twist. Your reward doesn't arrive quietly. It arrives publicly. The same world that overlooked you will now have to watch you rise. Because when heaven finally moves, it doesn't knock, it announces. Aquarius, this is your confirmation. The moment you made that decision, your miracle started walking toward you. And over the next 3 days, you'll see heaven reveal what it's been building behind the scenes. Beat drop, faint whisper. This is the start of your public prophecy. When you chose alignment over approval, the entire frequency of your life changed in an instant. It wasn't loud, it was powerful. One quiet yes from your soul sent shockwaves through every energetic layer around you. Build atmosphere. People felt it before they could explain it. Friends grew silent, not because they stopped caring, but because their vibration no longer matched yours. Memories resurfaced, not to haunt you, but to remind you of the cycles you've completed. Your intuition, once a whisper, now speaks like thunder in slow motion. You can't ignore it anymore. Narration continues. The 28th marks the first sunrise after the decision portal closed. The air itself feels different, heavier with truth, charged with divine motion. You wake up sensing time bending slightly in your favor. Even the smallest sounds, a bird's cry, a phone notification, a stranger's glance, carry messages from the unseen. The world around you didn't change overnight. You did. Your aura has been rewritten with new coding, one that only vibrates to purpose. People still attached to the old version of you can't read your energy anymore. That's why they fade. You're not losing them. You're outgrowing them. Prophetic pause. And that's when the numbers start showing up. 111 on the clock when you think of your future. 444 on a license plate as you take a deep breath before your next step. 828 on a receipt reminding you that endings are becoming gateways. Each pattern is heaven's signature saying, "We received your decision. Now we're executing the reward." voice intensifies. You'll feel strange bursts of energy, a sudden urge to clean, to create, to disconnect, to rest. Don't fight them. Your body is syncing with the new frequency of fulfillment. The universe is fine-tuning your surroundings like an orchestra preparing for the grand reveal. Slight pause, gentle wind sound. The aftermath isn't chaos, it's calibration. What looks like nothing is actually everything aligning. Whisper, your dreams will start replaying in color. You'll revisit old locations in your sleep, not to relive pain, but to reclaim your power left there. Transition tone. And in this sacred calm after the storm, heaven begins to organize your reward. Retention line, delivered with conviction. But there's one thing heaven wants you to remember. The reward doesn't fall all at once. It comes in 3 waves: recognition, reversal, and revelation. Transition tone. And in this sacred calm after the storm, heaven begins to organize your reward. Retention line, delivered with conviction. But there's one thing heaven wants you to remember. The reward doesn't fall all at once. It comes in 3 waves: recognition, reversal, and revelation. Between October 28th and 30th, the first wave of your reward begins, and it starts with recognition. Not in a grand announcement, not in fireworks, but in subtle moments that carry eternal weight. Cinematic pause. The world is starting to notice you again, Aquarius, but this time it's not for who you were, it's for who you've become. Your presence feels different. You walk into a room and people glance twice. Your silence, the same silence they once mistook for weakness, now commands attention. You're glowing without trying. Your peace is louder than their opinions. When heaven decides it's your turn, it doesn't need a spotlight. It creates one. And right now, that divine light has found you. Soft ambient hum builds like wind through stars. People who once scrolled past your energy are suddenly drawn to it. Someone who never texted before may reach out just to check in. A stranger compliments your eyes. A co-worker who overlooked you suddenly respects your input. Even your enemies feel the shift. They can't name it, but they sense it. Whisper tone. That's what happens when pain graduates into power. Heaven has turned your suffering into proof. The same rejection that once hurt you has become your spiritual credential emotional narration. This first wave is subtle yet sacred, because recognition isn't about applause. It's about the universe reflecting back your evolution. Every nod, every glance, every message that feels different is cosmic validation that you passed the test. Soft piano chords, slow and divine. Your energy is magnetic now because it's clean. You're not chasing, you're chosen. You no longer need to prove your worth. It radiates through your presence. Scene description. Imagine walking through your day and suddenly hearing someone say, "I don't know what it is about you, but you seem different." That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. Heaven is introducing the new version of you to the world. Prophetic whisper. And every time you get that compliment or that sudden call, remember, you didn't change to impress them. You evolved to express Him. Your glow is God's marketing promise builds. By the end of day 1, October 28th, someone will acknowledge what they once ignored. It might be a text, a message, a look, or an opportunity that reappears. Whatever form it takes, it's not random. It's your first activation. It's heaven's way of saying, "I told you they'd see you when it was time." Retention lift. And when that recognition comes, don't shrink, don't question it. Smile, because that's only wave 1. The next 2 are bigger, louder, unstoppable soft outro, strings fade to whisper. This is the first ripple of your public reward, Aquarius. Heaven is no longer hiding your light. It's displaying it. You're not being noticed by accident. You're being announced by destiny. Day 2 brings the reversal. The same situations that once drained you will now begin to return power. This is the day when divine balance begins to unfold, quietly but unmistakably. Soft bass pulse, slow heartbeat. The energies that once resisted you are now working for you. Doors you knocked on months ago begin to creak open. Messages that went unanswered suddenly get replies. Opportunities you thought were gone forever find their way back as if time itself hit undo. Cinematic tone. This is the law of divine reciprocity in motion. What you poured out in faith, heaven is now pouring back with interest. Every tear you shed was recorded, and now the accounts are being settled. Whisper softly. Heaven doesn't forget what hurt its healers. Narration deepens. You're about to witness something sacred, karmic balance in motion. Those who took advantage of your kindness will now experience the mirror effect of their choices, not as punishment, but as education. They'll finally feel what it was like to be you, giving love into silence, offering peace into pride. And in this reversal, Aquarius, the universe isn't being cruel, it's being clear. Because divine justice doesn't always announce itself in thunder. Sometimes it whispers through timing. Picture this. Someone who once ignored your messages now suddenly sends a long apology. A job or project that rejected you before now reaches out again. We'd like to reconsider. A person who laughed behind your back can't stop watching your glow up. The energy exchange has flipped. What once drained you now feeds you. Pause for emotional weight. You'll notice the energy shift in subtle ways too. You wake up lighter. The heaviness you carried is gone. Even your reflection looks stronger. It's not vanity, it's victory. Whisper tone. The universe doesn't waste pain. Every scar is a receipt of strength, and heaven keeps perfect records. Promise builds. By October 29th, expect a sudden flip in your story. Someone who once rejected your presence will seek it again, not to use you, but to witness the light they tried to dim. They'll approach differently, not with pride, but with reverence. Because your energy no longer bends to be understood, it stands to be respected. Cinematic pause. This is the moment where power returns to its rightful owner, you. The tables that once turned against you now spin in your favor. The cycle completes, the chapter reverses, the prophecy fulfills itself. Retention line, spoken with conviction. But the final wave, the one that changes everything, is still ahead. On this day, October 30th, the universe completes its 3-day promise. You'll sense it in the smallest moments. The glow in your reflection, the calm in your spirit, the softness in your heart. Even time feels slower, as if creation itself is pausing to celebrate your obedience. Whisper again. The reward doesn't just come to you, it comes through you. You become the miracle you were praying for. Promise tone deepens. By the night of October 30th, you'll know exactly why heaven made you wait. The unanswered seasons will start answering themselves in perfect order. That person who ghosted you, their silence taught you sovereignty. That dream that didn't work out, it was redirecting you toward your real destiny. That pain that almost broke you, it was refining you for leadership, soft orchestral build. This is not just a reward, Aquarius. It's a revelation. Heaven didn't delay you. It designed you. And now, everything that was prepared in private will unfold in public. Cinematic close. You are standing inside your answered prayer. The storm has cleared. The miracle has arrived. And the universe is whispering one final truth. See, you never lost. You were being aligned. Some Aquarians will feel a strange silence in these days. Don't panic. Don't misread it. That silence is not absence. It's sacred preparation. Narration. When the universe starts moving in your favor, it doesn't always begin with noise or motion. It begins with stillness. Heaven's first step toward manifestation is always a clearing. Soft swell of strings, a calm, suspended note. People will fade without explanation. Plans you were sure about may suddenly stall, conversations dry up, invitations stop, and for a moment, you'll wonder if you did something wrong. But what's really happening is alignment. The universe is removing what can't survive your reward. Cinematic tone. When heaven prepares to bless you, it first builds a soundproof room around your spirit. Because if you heard everyone's opinion right now, you'd doubt what's about to arrive. Silence becomes a shield, a space where destiny can concentrate. Don't confuse quiet with abandonment. When nothing seems to be happening, everything is being arranged. The angels work best when the room is empty. Whisper. Heaven removes access before it releases abundance. Narration continues. That's why you might feel detached, why certain calls go unanswered, or familiar energy feels foreign. It's not rejection, it's redirection. The universe is closing tabs in your spirit so the main vision can load. Soft piano returns, slow, reverent. Think of the seed. When it's buried, it's silent. No applause, no sunlight, just darkness and pressure. But beneath that quiet soil, life is rearranging itself. Roots are forming. The future is happening underground. Pause. You're in that phase now, Aquarius, the divine incubation. The silence isn't punishment, it's protection. God hides greatness while it matures. Emotional lift. You'll feel impulses to rest, to disconnect, to simplify. Honor them. That's not laziness, it's instruction. Because the moment the alignment locks in, the acceleration begins. The universe never wastes silence. It stores momentum inside it. You're standing in the hush right before history changes. The same way the air goes still before lightning splits the sky, heaven's preparing to announce you. Retention line, spoken with conviction. But after the silence comes the announcement. Music swells, strings burst open into light. The rain fades, the screen glows white. Closing whisper. Stay still, stay faithful, stay ready. Because the next sound you hear won't be noise. It'll be your name being spoken in rooms you've never entered. You'll sense it first, not in words, but in energy. Something begins to click in the unseen. Timelines sync. Pieces that once felt scattered start falling perfectly into place. Narration continues. You'll feel that tingling under your skin, that quiet knowing that something big has just shifted. You check your phone and see messages that seem too aligned to be random. People mention your name in rooms you never stepped into. Doors that were invisible a week ago suddenly swing open like they've been waiting just for you. Soft strings rise in the background, a heartbeat drum echoing underneath. Prophetic imagery. Heaven has been working behind the curtains, and now the curtains are being pulled back. For months, God has been staging your moment, rearranging conversations, rerouting opportunities, editing scenes that didn't serve your highest story. Cinematic pause. You were never forgotten. You were being framed for favor. The reason you couldn't see the blessing earlier was because it wasn't ready to carry the weight of your evolution. Visuals, golden threads weaving through darkness, forming a bright symbol. You'll start noticing confirmations everywhere. A song lyric that feels like it's speaking directly to you. A random message that says exactly what you prayed to hear. A sign on the street, a stranger's word, a number sequence flashing on your clock. All whispering, it's time. Soft whisper. Heaven's announcement doesn't sound like a trumpet. it feels like recognition. Narration builds. Within 72 hours of your decision, the universe begins broadcasting your next chapter. The vibration of your name travels to the people meant to meet you. Your ideas start attracting the right support, and those who once underestimated you start realizing they were watching the prophecy unfold the whole time. This is the moment when heaven goes public with what it's been building privately. Every test you endured becomes part of the testimony that announces you to the world. The same rejection that silenced you will now introduce you. The same delay that frustrated you will now position you. Promise tone, soft yet powerful. Within 72 hours of your decision, Aquarius, the universe will send you a scene so specific you'll have no choice but to whisper, "That's my reward." Pause, whisper again. You'll know it because it won't make sense logically, only spiritually. It'll feel too perfect, too personal, too divine to be coincidence. This is your announcement moment. The universe isn't just speaking to you, it's speaking about you. And every vibration in creation is echoing the same phrase, "It's their turn now." Retention line spoken with reverence. And yet, the story isn't over. Because the final wave, the one that changes everything, is still on its way. Aquarius. This isn't a season of quiet blessings. This is your season of public reward. The time for hidden preparation is over. Heaven is about to show why it kept you in isolation for so long. Visuals, golden light bursting through storm clouds, slow motion montage of faces turning in awe. The same people who misunderstood you will now understand your mission. Those who mocked your silence will now witness your spotlight, because the God who watched you cry in private is the same God preparing to honor you in public. Narration deepens. Every rumor is about to become reputation. Every delay turns into a divine display, and every single tear transforms into a testimony that cannot be denied. They laughed when you walked away. They whispered when you lost everything. They called it karma, but heaven calls it qualification. Whisper, gentle, firm. They wanted to humiliate you, but heaven wanted to elevate you. Narration builds like thunder. Your pain was never wasted. It was the scaffolding of your stage. Every rejection became a brick in the platform from which your light now shines. Watch closely over the next few days. Before November 1st, destiny will unfold in plain sight. You'll see people who once doubted you suddenly respect you. A conversation that once excluded you will begin revolving around you. The doors that closed will not only reopen, they'll welcome you with honor. Imagine standing in the same place they once discredited you. Only now, every eye that judged you is witnessing your rise. That's divine justice in motion. Heaven doesn't expose to embarrass. It exposes to exalt. Whisper, intimate tone. This is not vengeance. This is vindication. You don't need to prove a thing. Your peace is proof enough. Prophetic narration. The tables have turned quietly, perfectly, permanently. Those who sowed gossip will now reap guilt. Those who sowed doubt will now harvest awe. Because heaven has switched your narrative from what happened to them to how did they make it through. Cinematic strings swell toward a glowing crescendo. Before November 1st, expect a scene so undeniable you'll have no urge to explain yourself. You won't need to defend your character. Your reward will. Favor will speak louder than your words ever could. Pause. Whisper with warmth. You are the living evidence that God restores reputations. Your glow is heaven's headline, final build. So stand tall, Aquarius. Keep your hands clean, your spirit calm, and your eyes lifted. Because this isn't the end of your story. It's the public chapter they can't rewrite. Aquarius. These 3 days were never random. They weren't just the aftermath of a decision. They were the beginning of your fulfillment. You said yes to destiny, and now destiny is saying yes to you. Visuals: moonlight spilling across an ocean, a silhouette standing at peace on the shore, eyes lifted upward. This is the moment when heaven stops testing and starts trusting, when what you prayed for finally meets you in real time. Every delay, every silence, every night you questioned if God forgot your name was just divine choreography bringing your future closer, one unseen step at a time. Whisper, soft, emotional. Heaven never forgets the moment you chose faith over fear. Piano deepens, slow heartbeat tempo returns. You didn't break, Aquarius. You bloomed under pressure. You didn't lose yourself. You found your higher self. Every time you were told, wait, heaven was saying, prepare. And now, the waiting ends. Cinematic narration. By the next moon gate, your life will look completely different. Not because you forced it, but because you finally flowed with it. You stopped chasing what wasn't yours and started attracting what was written. Soft choir hum builds in the background, echoing like angels humming through the night. Everything you once thought you lost is being reintroduced in divine order. The peace, the opportunities, the recognition, the love, the clarity. The same sky that watched you cry is now watching you rise. Pause. This is not the end of a chapter. This is the birth of a prophecy fulfilled. Your decision became the doorway, and your reward has already started walking toward you. Whisper, intimate tone. Don't chase it. Just stay aligned. The energy that's coming has already chosen you. Emotional reflection. You're not standing in lack. You're standing in arrival. You're not healing anymore. You're whole. Everything you've endured has built the strength required for the miracle you're about to hold. Strings lift into a serene crescendo. Moonlight now turns into dawn. Final declaration, strong, prophetic. You didn't lose anything. You made room for everything. You didn't fall behind. You were being fine-tuned. The decision was the door, Aquarius. And your reward is no longer on the way. It's here. Comment, I'm in my 3-day reward season if you're claiming this prophecy. Like this video, share it with another Aquarius, and subscribe, because the next prophecy reveals the miracle on the 4th day when the universe shows what you've become.